How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Flatline Detonation. Today we're going to be working on the rear subframe, the diff housing, whatever you want to call that thing, and fixing the capture nut so we can put the transmission back in the car.
Okay, so upon moving the transmission, driveline and everything else, I broke the capture nut off. So what I have to do now is drill and cut a little bit on each side, and then we'll weld it. We'll actually weld the nut that's on the inside of there, and then heat the bolt with a torch, and it should thread back out. I've had to do this before on the rear subframe. I haven't pulled this rear subframe out yet. Chances are same thing is gonna happen because these older Subarus, the nuts like to rust. If you can get some penetrating oil behind them, let it sit for a while. Usually that helps. The rears are actually sitting in penetrating oil right now. Hopefully that helps me out and the rear subframe comes out nice and easy. So this is kind of crazy and I never had this happen before. Took the drill, was starting to drill around it, and the bolt must have just, I don't know, the impact must have just ripped it right off, because the vibration from the drill literally let this fall out of there. So that makes my life a little easier. Alright, so that was successful. As you can see, I drilled on either side. It's a bit primitive, but once we go in there with a MIG welder, weld it up, we'll pull the bolt out, grind it flat, and it'll be just like factory. It's kind of hard to see. My GoPro's not the best in the dark. Capture nut's all welded back in, ground flat. Again, it's a bit of a primitive, crude method, but it's effective. That bolt's not going to come out of there. Definitely not going to rip out from the bottom either. So, good to go. Gonna clean up everything around here. Probably spray it with some stone guard, some chip guard, and then we can put the transmission in, which you guys still don't know what's going in here. Onto the rear subframe. So I have to remove this because most newer differentials have a different mount than what's back here. They have a separate mount that actually bolts to the subframe. So this one's got to go, plus it's really rusty. I just want it out anyway. These things are usually a Subaru owner's worst nightmare to remove because these bolts here, there's a capture nut inside, like I just fixed on the transmission, that almost always snaps out. And a good way to avoid that is to come into this hole. This is where your white line lockdown rear diff bolt goes into, and just spray a bunch of PB blaster, some WD-40, just as much as you can get in there. Now I've actually gone through all of these. I've actually broken them loose and they did come out miraculously, so we're all good there. I'm about to pull this out. I also did remove the tiny rear sway bar. These bolts, again, everyone's worst nightmare. Just take your time, spray a bunch of PB blaster, WD-40 in there, and just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you should get them out. So if it's not moving, find a buddy that's got a torch, or even take it to a shop, have them just heat them up, take them out.
Alright, so I got a lot done. Got that rear subframe out. There was some carnage. These rear lateral links pretty much never want to come out. I got lucky on the other side. They actually did come out. I've got everything laid out. Gonna clean it up, paint it, just so it looks nice. It's not gonna rust anymore. So everything's pretty much out of there. It's not too bad. There's really no serious rust under here, which is good. I also did remove the fronts. These can go. These actually aren't even from a Subaru. They're from like some Toyota. I just threw them in so I can move the car around. I got the nasty ball joints removed. Got some new ones coming. Just gonna clean it up. No, I'm not doing a rear-wheel drive conversion. That was just so I can move the car around and clean some stuff up around the shop today. get rid of these nasty things. All this can go because it's all garbage. Yeah, that's the pit of abyss pile. I got this out as well, the rear diff support thingy. I'm gonna clean it up, paint it. Got some stuff to do to it before it goes in. Getting these bushings out is awful. Sitting here with the chisel, and I've cut around on each side in 4 spots with the Sawzall. Man, these are tough. I wish I had a press. I got all the rear diff outrigger housing, that's what it's called, all cleaned up. Just took the whizzer wheel to it. Also did these front hubs. So I'm just gonna pressure wash them down, give them a nice coat of gloss black, and call it a day. So shiny. It's amazing what a wire wheel and a $5 can of paint will do to some rusty parts. Obviously powder coating would be better, but I'm pretty happy with this. It'll hold up. This car's not gonna see any salts. So I know you saw it, you clicked on the video. What are we putting in the car? First, let's talk budget. That is currently what the car and all the parts you're about to see have cost me. I won't go into too much detail. A lot of part outs, a lot of selling stuff, being super frugal. I keep a spreadsheet of everything just because I'm super nerdy like that, and I like to know how much money I'm wasting, or in this case, not wasting, because you can barely buy a Honda Civic for that price. So, the parts. Oh, the parts. So what do we have? ID 1000s, white line 24 and 22 millimeter sway bar, white line sway bar rear mounts to get rid of those janky old rusty ones, the mounts for the sway bar, adjustable front white line. White line, if you're out there, I'd appreciate a sponsorship, but probably not gonna happen. These are for that diff outrigger. Those would be nice. And for the front, what are these for? These are for the front steering rack. Make it nice and stiff. Moving on. Oh boy, look at this thing. Fortune Auto 500, brand spanking new. This is one of those things that I don't know why people buy used, and almost always they're seized or they're broken. You have to send them in for rebuild. By the time you buy them cheap and then you send them back in, it's the same price to just buy new ones. In the box. You guys can tell me if this is even worth the money. This is supposedly to adjust for when you lower your car. It fixes the steering geometry in the front. Some white line ball joints and tie rod ends. I needed these regardless. Mine were really bad. In the other box. I didn't have these on my last car, and I wish I did. These are adjustable. I'm not gonna take those out of there. I don't feel like it. Adjustable rear lateral links. Pretty excited about that. That'll make my alignment guy really happy too. And moving on to the transmission. So all the parts I'm about to show you right now literally cost me $500 because I bought this wagon and I put it back to stock with all the stuff I had laying around. If you're smart, that's what you do on your build. Just buy broken, smashed, or just crappy cars that don't deserve the parts that they have. 06 STI 6-speed. Now, the thing I'm not excited about is that's a WRX diff. Those are WRX axles. Those are STI ones, but those won't work. Well, they'll work, but my ABS won't work with those. And I think this will be fine. This is the automatic drive shaft to make the WRX diff work with the new STI trans. This works because the ratios are the same, so you don't have diff binding. STI intercooler, Turbo XS blow-off valve, STI GD cluster. I'm not sure if that's gonna work. need adapter harness for that. We'll see about that. Budget Brembos, aka 0607 WRX-TR brakes. And braided steel brake lines. And braided clutch line. Part I'm really excited about is this MAP DCC-D controller. My last car had the stock factory system that I transferred over. Didn't work the greatest. This is tunable, so I can actually set it up for different surfaces I'm racing on. 04, 05 WRX seats. I like these way more than STI seats. Fight me. Pro Drive wheels. Not super excited about these, but they do have some Falcon 615s. They're not the pluses, but I'm cool with it. Oh, the Honda noises. Yeah, that's right. Putting Ecolinks on it. I don't care. Again, fight me. I got some new headlights because, like every single other car I've found, this one's broken and janky. Can't forget this guy hiding down here. My last car was from Arizona, so it was rust-free. This one is not from Arizona. I got these from, if you're wondering, Subi Savers. They have a Facebook page, subisavers.com. It won't focus, but I'll link it in the description. All that nasty rust can disappear. I realized I didn't mention some stuff in the last episode that this car has, that it came with, that make my life a lot easier and are actually some nice parts. So you've already saw it, carbon fiber hood, and there's actually a carbon fiber trunk in the back, but it has a bunch of holes in it. I'll probably have to fiberglass it and then wrap it or paint it. I'm not sure yet. The other thing this car had was a I-wire harness. If you don't know what an I-wire harness is, it's a company that takes the factory RS harness, takes a donor WRX harness, cuts it in two, puts it back together, sends it back to you, and all you have to do is put it back in the car and it works. I mean, these guys are great. I've contacted them a couple times and they've helped me out. I wouldn't do anything else besides iWire for Subarus if you're going to be messing around with wiring, because those guys are great. I look forward to buying more parts from them because every time you buy something, it just works. It plugs in and it works. And that is the best feeling in the world, even if you have to spend a little bit of extra money. So that's kind of where I'm going to wrap it up today. If you haven't already done so, like, subscribe, check out my Facebook page, and check out my old 2.5 RS build of my old car. See you guys next time.